I'd like to introduce Ricardo. He's going to be ministering with me. The title of my poem is all about who, and I just ask that you open your hearts to receive. Your life is all about what? Your life is all about who? Think about this. When David slayed Goliath, it was all about the glory. When Solomon displayed great wisdom, it was all about the glory. When Moses led the Israelites, it was all about the glory. When Paul preached to multitudes, it was all about the glory. When Elijah repaired the altar, it was all about the glory. When Peter walked on water, it was all about the glory. When Abraham attempted to slay his own son, it was all about the glory. However, when David slept with Bathsheba, it was all about David. When Solomon worshipped the gods of his foreign concubines, it was all about Solomon. When Moses struck the rock, it was all about Moses. When Paul persecuted Christians, it was all about Paul. When Elijah prayed that he would die, it was all about Elijah. When Abraham and Sarah became impatient and tried to help God out, it was all about Abraham and Sarah. When Peter denied him not one, not two, but 3 times, it was all about Peter. When I faked worship in church, I thought that it was all about me. You may have ignored an altar call because you thought that it was all about you. You may have contemplated suicide because you thought that it was all about you. You may have cheated because you thought that it was all about you. You may have fornicated because you thought that it was all about you. You may have not forgiven because you thought that it was all about you. You may have gotten high or drunk because you thought that it was all about you. You may have lied to save face because you thought that it was all about you. But truth be told, the only time you ever really mattered, the only time that it was ever all about you, was when he remained silent in his innocence as they yelled, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" The only time that it was all about you was when blood gushed from his body as he willingly allowed them to whip him to a bloody pulp. The only time that it was all about you was when he just stood there and took it as they placed a crown of thorns on his head and mocked him, "Hail, King of the Jews." The only time that it was all about you was when they spit on him and beat him over the head with a staff as he carried his own cross and did nothing to defend himself. The only time that it was all about you was when they nailed his arms and feet to the cross and left him for dead and he just accepted it. The only time that it was all about you was when he cried out to his Father, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It was all about his love for you. He died for you. And yes, he gives us free will. But even though he gives us free will in this lifetime, it's still not all about us. Because he gets the glory in the end regardless of the path we choose. You may look at free will as having the authority to do whatever you want here on earth, but truthfully, free will only consists of 2 real choices: life or death. Those of us who choose life makes it all about his glory, and those of us who choose death lives a lie, making it all about ourselves. And whether you want to face the truth now or when it's too late, just know that one day your knees will bow and your tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, and then you will know for sure that your life was never about you, period. For the many people who hear this message, if it motivates just one person to make a change in their choice, I did my job. And even if 100% of the ears that hear this message choose to ignore it, guess what? I still did my job, just like Jesus did. So, exercise your free will. Your life is all about what? Your life is all about who? Think about it.